Freedom from Invisible Veils by Walter and Bahereh and Sienna May. Spring 2004, Penargil, PA.
Please shake off your layers before coming inside.
Don't assume. Don't assume. We are here.
Under the veil.
Veil?
Unveil. Is she veiled?
Is she unveiled?
Is he veiled? Is he unveiled?
Are you veiled?
Are you unveiled?
Did you know that over 150 years ago there was a woman poet in Iran known as Tahirih, meaning the Pure One? She was born in Iran, Persia, in 1817. She was named Fatemeh Salame. She was such an outstanding child that the family always called her Zarin Taj, which means crown of gold. She was married at a young age, but her strong belief in the equality of men and women gave her the will to rise and help women to find their fair role in the society. Later on, she was given the title Qurratul Ain, solace of my eyes, by a seer who was extremely impressed by Tahirih's intelligent letter. Shortly after receiving the title, at the age of 26, the mother of 2 sons and 1 daughter journeyed to Karbala in 1843 to meet the seer. When she returned home, she divorced her husband because she realized that she had nothing in common with him. Some time later, she attended a conference in the northern part of Iran. One day, she came into the garden where all the men were. Without her veil and beautifully dressed, quietly, silently, and with the greatest calm and dignity, Tahirih stepped forward and seated. Most everyone was surprised, afraid, angry, and confused, because it was not a common scene in those days. She was not affected by any of it. Rather, she began to talk to them in her eloquent style. Later, the king of Iran at the time sent her a message that if she changed her way of thinking, he would marry her. But Tahirih wrote her reply in verse on the back of his letter and returned it to him. In English, the message went something like this: Kingdom, wealth, and ruling be for thee. Wandering, becoming a poor dervish, and calamity be for me. If that station is good, let it be for thee. And if this station is bad, I long for it, let it be for me. As a result, she was executed in August 1852. She was considered by many to be a martyr. She was 36 years old when she suffered martyrdom in Tehran. Her career was as dazzling as it was short, as tragic as it was eventful. The life of Tahirih quickly became famous, even as far as the capital cities of Europe. Both men and women of many nations, professions, and cultures praised her and admired her deeds and sacrifice. The world remembers Tahirih as the first woman suffrage martyr. Baha'is remember her in the same way as other religions revere Sarah, Asiya, Fatima, and the Virgin Mary. The call she put forth at the conference in Iran marked the beginning of a new era. At the hour of her death, she said to a guard, "You can kill me as soon as you like, but you cannot stop the emancipation of women."
If I see you face to face, eye to eye, I will tell you of my sadness, point to point, item by item. Like the east wind I search for you, in the streets, door to door, house to house. For your sweet lips, your gentle features, your fragrance, blossom to blossom, flower to flower. Separated from you, my heart bleeds through both eyes. To the sea, spring to spring, river to river. Love for you has woven this afflicted heart, to the stuff of life, strand to strand, thread to thread. Walter Ain, Tahirih the Great.
گر به تو افتادم نظر، چهره به چهره، رو به رو، شرح دهم غم تو را نکته به نکته، مو به مو. از پی دیدن رخت همچو صبا فتادم، کوچه به کوچه، در به در، خانه به خانه، کو به کو. دور دهان تنگ تو، عارض عنبرین خطت، غنچه به غنچه، گل به گل، لاله به لاله، بو به بو. می رود از فراق تو خون دل از دو دیده‌ام، دجله به دجله، یم به یم، چشمه به چشمه، جو به جو. مهر تو را دل حزین بافته بر قماش جان، رشته به رشته، نخ به نخ، تار به تار و پو به پو. حضرت طاهره قرةالعین. Shortly after I sent my article, The Veil, to a few friends, a friend responded to me in an email. He says, "Greetings. There are countless veils over the face of Allah, and as the seeker pursues his or her quest of knowledge and understanding, Allah allows each veil to fold away, bringing us closer to reality and enlightenment. Our quest is to see the face of the Beloved without any veils." And he signed it as your HEARTizen friend, and then his name. Thank you.
Unveiled by Sienna Mae Heath, July 8, 2004. For the past 3 months I have not shown my face. For the past 3 months I have put out my flames. I'm no longer hidden, I'm here and alive. My smile and laughter shows I have survived. I'm unveiled, I'm back and I flew. I'm unveiled, I'm better than new. I'm unveiled. Did you miss me? I know you do. Did you miss me? You know I did too. I took a little break, though I've nothing to hide. In fact, I've something to give. My passion, my love, my laughter and joy. This mask on my face really started to annoy. My spirit, it's back. It's here to stay. My spirit is back. Veil, stay away.
The Veil by Bahereh, April 17, 2004. Have you, man or woman, ever had to or chose to wear a veil, or perhaps multi-layered veils? Have I ever had to or chose to wear a veil, or perhaps multi-layered veils? That's the question, and that, my friend, is the big picture. I was born and raised in Iran, Persia. I was born and raised in Iran under a different regime called Pahlavi dynasty. And I was born in a Baha'i family with a belief in equality of women and men, and the belief in the oneness of all religions, the unity of all people and world peace. I admit that not everything was perfect under the Shah in Iran, but nevertheless I like the fact that most everyone, girls and boys, had the opportunity to become as educated as they desired. And I liked the fact that I was free to dress up in the way I wished to dress up. I chose not wearing a veil, so all my life I did not wear a veil. Today, at the age of 57, and after nearly 25 years of living in this country of USA, I am sitting here and thinking to myself, that just because I did not veil my physical body in my long life, does that really mean that I did not veil myself? The answer to this question is quite complex, I think, and I would like to extend this question to every one of you out there, just to ponder upon this notion that if wearing a veil represents covering, then have you ever covered your true self from the world? Have you ever felt that the world around you does not allow you to express your inner thoughts and your inner feelings freely? And little by little, with the passing of time, you have become multi-layered, a person covered with many layers of veils. My question to you is, where are you? And for that matter, where am I? And if you, out of fear, perhaps fear of being ostracized or worse, for the sake of respect, at times false respect or otherwise, had felt that it is for the best to let go of sharing and expressing your views on any particular subject, does that mean that you had to wear a veil to cover? How often we tell our children that for the sake of respect, even if an adult is not right, just to stay quiet, to be a polite girl or a polite boy. Just follow and keep your mouth closed. How often we adults ourselves stay quiet when we should stand up for truth? How often we don't exercise our virtue of courageousness for the false pretense, not rocking the boat? I yearn for a day when we don't have to tell our children to keep quiet, even when they are right. I'm afraid we might interfere with their virtue of righteousness and courageousness. We must teach our children and ourselves the value of the virtue of courage, and to help them to become critical thinkers and to live it openly. Regardless of all that, I continue believing in the preservation of individuality and freedom to investigate the truth for oneself. Regardless, I think the best way to live our lives is to be able to live it as transparently as possible, like a free bird that's soaring in the clear blue sky. And the mystics can see its inner and its outer beauty in its entirety. Have I ever had to veil myself? Yes and no. Have you ever had to veil yourself? Perhaps your honest answer is not much different from mine. Let's not forget, we tend to misjudge an individual who wears a physical veil. We must, however, remind ourselves that the brain and the heart is inside of the body, and a veiled person can be just as, or even more open-minded and free-spirited as anyone else. And have we ever chose to wear veils? I simply wish to unveil myself, to breathe freely, the gift that no one can give to me except me, and I hope you join me in this life pursuit. As a person of literature and poetry, I've always been fascinated with words and their paradox, the poetical devices that is more commonly used among some people, such as my late beloved mother, who used this mystic language on a daily basis. This article, The Veil, is simply a testimony to this claim. It is not about any particular situation, it is mainly about helping one to see deeper within themselves. Of course, the veil can have many meanings, different meanings for every individual. For instance, I know that as much as I would like to unveil myself, I am an onion at heart and spirit, an onion with many gentle, sweet, and at times not so gentle, sweet layers. But I do love the delicate layers of veils of mysteries, no doubt.